Let's get ready to rumble. Yeah, mother. We're back. Tuesday night. Another week in the books. Matty Kiwoom talked about this morning with Fizz on the cook-up. These weeks suck because it's already week 3. And you know what that means. I'm going to say the words that nobody wants to hear. The season's already a sixth of the way over.
Brother, I wrote it to, we're trying to get the article game a little up. T-Rock's been absolutely killing it. We're trying to lend some support to Mr. Rockstein. And I was doing my article today, and I'm looking at it like, man, it feels like we've already been in football season for a fortnight, a lifetime, and we're only 2 weeks in. But, I mean, life came at us quick in week 2. Life comes at you quick. And now, I would say the first 4 weeks is the 4 weeks where we're trying to figure out what's real. You have some week 1 duds that stud on week 2, some week 1 studs that dud in week 2, injuries, benchings already. I mean, it's just we've hit the ground running, and it doesn't take much time for you to fall flat on your face.
It's I wish we had like a 36-week season.
Like a baseball season? You wish we played like baseball?
I think I wish we had
162,
36 weeks, and you get like a little, 12, 14 week off season to get healthy. And then it's not 36 games, but it's like play 5, get a bye. Play 5, get a bye. Things like that.
You play 5. I would take. I mean, listen, anything that extends the season, you got to be all for it. You can't really back down because we wait and wait and wait, and the season's here, and then people bitch. Right? We have the bitching and complaining already happening. And then we have a little bit of victory laps. Then we look at the calendar. It's only October 1st when this is happening. And then before you know it, it's Christmas and boom, bada bing. We're sitting in the offseason being like, well, I guess I can't wait for the draft.
Yeah. And that's the thing is and Fizz said that boy Cody been in that chair cooking all day. Dude, Tuesdays, I've learned, and every year Tuesdays are always the biggest pain. This year, I just decided that I'm just going to load my Tuesdays with shows. So this is my 4th show today. We're getting it done though. We're getting it. I went on a bike ride, got the cold plunge done today. We're getting after it. We've been after it. You got to go check out the cook up. The cook up was this morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time with Fizz. Went for about $1.30. And we broke down everything from week 2, put a bow on it, and then we moved on quickly. I did a waiver wire show. And tonight, Matty, I want to talk a little waivers.
Okay.
I want to talk a little buy, sell, a.k.a. your column that's going to go up on southharmonff.com. And I want to tell everything. I want to hear a couple thoughts from you through 2 weeks. Thoughts, T-H-O-T-S, thoughts. But yeah, that's kind of where my mind's at. We're hurdling your way through the week. It's Tuesday night. Tomorrow's hump day. And then Thursday's here. Thursday is here. So it's Tuesday night. You got one more long day Wednesday, and then those lineups got to be set. Tonight's the big waiver night. So Matty Kiwoom, how you been doing?
I'm doing great. I mean, I love this football season. We grind and grind and grind, and when the season's here, it's just like the old saying in football: practice is the hard part, the game's the fun time. We're in fun time. We're in super happy fun time. It's the season. I do wonder when the NFL is going to stop messing around and let the boys score some points. We have like a 5-year low in passing touchdowns 2 weeks in. It feels like having no preseason means we don't get true outcomes, I don't want to call it predictions, but hunches, like our gut feelings, that what we believe to be true. We don't have a freaking clue until after a month. And with all the analytics, I mean, the analytics don't really start to saturate until about 4 or 5 weeks in. So it's just like, oh my God, what are we doing? It's craziness, but I love it though. It's part of the fun.
Week 3 is usually the week after week 3. You get 3 weeks of data. That's officially when the data points can begin in my book. Eric Vanek has a question. He says, which Casey back do y'all want? And so let's jump right into this, Matty, because in seasonal, this is a big question. Right now on the waiver wire, my numero unski this week is Braylon Allen. If you don't already have him, if you drafted with us, you probably got him. But we saw him explode this past week as the 2 in New York. But the Kansas City backfield with Carson Steele, Samaje Perine, and the return of the great one, Kareem Hunt.
The great one.
One of the greatest rookie debuts in the history of the sport. Here's the thing. I talked to Alex about this earlier, Alex and Trash Man, and Alex is trying to sell me on this Kareem Hunt thing and having him above guys like Antonio Gibson, Bucky Irving, Emmanuel Wilson, Jalen Wright, Isaac Garendo, and your boy has got his arms crossed, like I do right now. And he's saying, I was old enough to remember, I am old enough to remember Leonard Fournette's quads last year.
Oh, the Buffalo days, huh?
I'm a little worried that a guy that hasn't been in camp in a hot minute ain't going to be the one that comes in and takes the bell cow role in week 3 of the season, or week 4 or 5 or 6 for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Much more in line with the thought process of him being a healthy scratch for the next 3 weeks, and P. Ryan taking all the receiving work and Carson Steele taking all the running work, and you not wanting any of these guys. And this offense tilting back towards a pass-centric offense, and Kelce having more importance going forward until they can get back to health. Like, does this not make sense that they would go, well, we found gold in Isaiah Pacheco, and we knew we could lean into that running the football, but what were we at our core, Matty? What was the Chiefs at their core? They were an explosive north and south team. And what'd they go out and add? I know Hollywood Brown's probably not going to play this year, but they went out and added Xavier Worthy. They actually just picked up Juju Smith-Schuster, who in Kansas City somehow is decent. He's not good, but he's decent enough for the scheme, right? They have Rashee Rice, who's just too sick. And they happen to have this guy that they thought they were going to be able to just, I don't know what they were going to say. I don't know what analogy I want to use, but they just thought he was going to be able to.
They thought he was bulletproof. He Isaiah Pacheco.
No. I'm talking about Kelce. I was walking through the weapons, Worthy and Rice, and then they just thought that they were going to have Travis Kelce, who could just kind of, I don't want to say coast through the meat of the season. And now with this injury, I think it tilts the entire offense back to being pass. It's pass-centric and explosive, and it forces their hand to switch back, which I don't think they're going to have a single problem doing. But I think it's going to be much more pass-centric than it has been the last 2 years, where you've seen run the ball, play defense, and Patty Mack has just been fine for fantasy. I think this tilts the hands back towards the passing game. I don't think they're going to lean on Steele and Perine and goddamn Kareem Hunt.
No, but to answer Eric's question, which player I want out of that backfield, it's Carson Steele. Carson Steele's been there. He's kind of cleared all the hurdles. You know, I saw someone say this on Twitter, which I think makes a ton of sense. If they wanted Kareem Hunt to be the pass-catching back, they would have signed him instead of Samaje Perine. It took an injury for them to bring Kareem Hunt back. And as far as Kareem Hunt, the player, we saw a significant nosedive from 2022 to 2023 in some key metrics, including rushing yards after contact, took a nosedive, rushes of 15 or more miles per hour. This is a guy that would routinely be in the 20s. And last year, in 14 games played, so a lot of the season, 4. He had 3.0 yards per carry. He had 9 touchdowns. But even the 9 touchdowns never really made him fantasy relevant throughout the season. And Carson Steele's big. He's tough. And from Isaiah Pacheco to the next, Carson Steele kind of provides that same punch that was really successful for this offense. Now, I do agree with you wholeheartedly that we're going to see Patrick Mahomes unleashed, I think, starting as early as this week on Sunday Night Football against the Falcons. And I will say this because I recorded a video early in the week, eight stats that caught my eye so far in the NFL season. And one of those, one of the players I kind of broke down was Travis Kelce. And when you pop the hood, the guy's still getting pretty much the same separation as his career averages at 3.8, last year 3.7. His air yards per target is up from last year. He's going to be fine. The fact of the matter is he has 7 effing targets. This is a guy that can handle 7, 8, 9, 10 per contest. And now this team's going to have to pivot. His 57% catch rate would be a career low by a wide margin. So we're expecting some positive regression in that department. There are big games coming from Travis Kelce. And if you can lock in and you can sink your teeth into some Travis Kelce and seasonal especially, I'm buying. I'm buying where I can, especially when we see the wasteland that has been the tight end position 2 weeks in. Sometimes when you're drowning out there, you got to grab onto the biggest lifeboat. And I'm sorry, Travis Kelce and his perennial top 2 finishes in fantasy is a lifeboat I have all the confidence in grabbing when I'm in the tight end abyss. And for me, you look at the next 3 games, at Falcons, at Chargers versus Saints. I think they chuck it Sunday night. At Chargers might be a little bit more of a barn burner, might be a little bit slower pace, but Kelce has absolutely demolished the Chargers throughout his career. And now the Saints in Arrowhead, that's a game that's going to be a marquee matchup that none of us were predicting just a couple weeks ago. And I think these next 3 are an absolute get right from Travis Kelce. And then at the end of these next 3 weeks, we look and go, oh, did you realize he's tight end 3 on a points per game basis? Oh, did you see the 3 back-to-back-to-back tight end 1 finishes on the week? Not overall, but tight end 1 position. Maybe even overall. It's Travis fucking Kelce, people. So I love this offense, and I want to ask you this though. Carson Steele aside, actually you could throw Carson Steele in there because you've obviously are the best in the biz when it comes to prospects. What did Carson Steele look like when you were doing your running back analysis, and then break down the difference between Kareem Hunt and Samaje Perine? Because both of them kind of seem dusty to me.
I don't care about Perine or Kareem Hunt.
Bingo.
Cunt. So you said Cream and I said Cunt. So Cream Cunt, that's his name now.
It's like Cat Dog. We come up with nicknames on this show, boy.
Cream Cunt, Cunt Cream, Cream Cunt. I think so. Part of me wants Kareem Hunt to be the guy. Mm-hmm. Part of me believes he still has a little fuel left in that tank. But a big part of me just is like, yeah, probably not going to drop a big fab dollar. And someone's going to do it. You'll see the FFPC tweets come out tomorrow night of like, somebody just dropped 52% on Kareem Hunt because somebody got nuked, whatever, right? As far as Perine goes, I think the receiving work is probably the respected expected. As far as every down goes, 0%. Carson Steele's the one that he beat out Deneric Prince, and Deneric Prince was supposed to be the next in the backfield. And Carson Steele is a back. I saw him at the Shrine Bowl this past year. The guy was good at UCLA. I didn't think he was going to be a guy was going to be in this situation where he would be an RB2. Because every single year we see most RB2s end up getting an opportunity. I did not foresee him even getting close to this type of a situation to be an RB2. Saw him more as like that RB3 grinder type, that kind of where I think Kansas City wanted him to be, which was behind Clyde and behind Pacheco.
Right.
I trust Steele. I trust his running style, which is molded a little bit after the Isaiah Pacheco, Marshawn Lynch type of a situation. I don't want anybody though. Like if we're just being deathly honest with ourselves, like I don't want anybody in this backfield. I think the whole shift, I could be completely wrong here, but to me, the offense completely shifts back to the pass and it ignites Kelce because like Patty goes, "Hey, we need you. We need you now. It's time to play some football. You got to give us like 6 weeks, Travis." And he'll go, "All right, man. I'll put the helmet back on. I'll put the suit and I'll that back down. I'll shave the mustache. I'll grow the hair out, and I'll start eating steaks and drinking some milk." And he'll get back into the dungeon, and they'll go on a run. They got the Falcons, the Chargers, the Saints. They got a bye. They got the Niners, the Raiders, the Bucks. That's a little bit of a stretch. Raiders is a walk. We get that most likely, hopefully. But that's 6 weeks that, if they can get through that, the back end of the schedule kind of opens up. Broncos, Bills is tough in Buffalo, but then they got the Panthers and the Raiders again. Steelers and Broncos to end the season out. Like, I like the way the schedule unfolds for them down the stretch. And I think if they can get a competent run game by then, or potentially get Pacheco back by then, I think they're in a good place. But I think I think they ignite Kelce. And if you want to look at Kelce's the beginning of his whole career, every single year of his career, these are his targets through the first 2 games. 11, 17, 14, 17, 17, 17, 16, 20, 15, 16, 17. 7. You finally got your buy window.
One of these things is not like the other.
You finally got your buy window on Travis Kelce for the first time in his career. Don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up.
I got one team. I got one team that I'm going to bring it up only because Chalk Walker did this on a show where he had RC Fisher on. Chalk Walker has a podcast. I say Chalk Walker because that's his screen name, his Kiwoom name on Sleeper. And he did a podcast, and then he tags me in this league chat. This is from a patron league, Podfather's patron league, right? He tagged me in chat, and he goes, "Yeah, look at this trade I made with Cody." And he's got RC Fisher on, and RC Fisher does like his
shtick.
No, Chalk Walker has RC Fisher help him with his team. Right? This is his like manager.
Wait, this isn't a show that they're doing?
No. They did a show, but they're talking about me on their show. They're talking about this league, my team on their show, right? They're talking about, because our RC Fisher does team consultations, right?
Uh-huh.
And they're talking about my team because I made a trade, and I guess I could scroll back and see how far I could scroll back and find what the trade was, but it was I traded up in the draft. I think this is great radio, but I really don't care. This is a boys episode. We're covering topics. If you got a question, drop in the chat, click the like button, tap in. We're here, we're there, we're everywhere. But I'm going to bring this up because this team, Matty, is like low-key nice. I got Travis Kelce, I got Brock Bowers, and I think I traded Likely away at one point, but I had all 3 of them. So now I just got Bowers and Kelce. But at receiver, I got Rice. I got Drake London. I got Marvin Harrison. Quarterback, I got Levis. Your boy just sitting on Sam Darnold, sitting on Jacoby Brissett, sitting on Russ. Like I like my team. I like it. It's not good. The running back room is tough. You have to start 3 backs. And I know not everyone cares about your fantasy team, but like this team's got like Hollywood and Jordan Addison, and the running back room's kind of brutal. But this trade that he brought up was Marvin, and I'm trying to find it. How many months ago was this damn draft?
Probably a while, I would imagine.
I want to get your thoughts on this trade because he was like, feed me the business, and then he like ran me on a pod about it. Here it is, right here. All right, so that's not it either. Man, I've traded a lot with this guy. Let's see here. Maybe here. Okay, so I sent, listen to this, okay? Sent Jamar Chase, 209, 304, 504. Okay. For Swift, the 101 and like the 402, 410, 51. So really, it was Swift and the 101 I got rid of Chase, the 209, 304, 504. So I got Swift and the 101 for Chase, essentially. Plus the 209 was on the 304. It's like, middle 8 picks. I got Marv. I don't think Marv and Chase are that far apart. He berated me. He's like, because RC Fisher hates Marv. I love where the squad's at, and I love where I'm looking down on my stoop down at the Jamar Chase people right now with my Marvin Harrison Jr. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but you did fuck it. You should take a Malik.
That's okay.
I mean, listen.
I think we had this conversation on a show.
We definitely did. No, I remember exactly this conversation in the past. But
because I think I might have had another pick, and I think I took
this
Bowers.
Is not a thing you can. Oh, you did take Bowers. I do know that. I remember talking about through it.
I actually didn't. I took 101. I took Harrison, and then Williams went, Daniels went, and then at the 104 I took Bowers over Neighbors. That's what it was.
Because you didn't want to double up and oversaturate your running back, your receivers. I remember this conversation, and we had talked about how awesome it is. Yes, and we talked about how the rollout plan, and I try to do this in as many leagues as possible. Not many, but I did do it in one where I had Kelce and I got Bowers, and the hope is that I have the Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, the Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. I have that smooth criminal transition. That is the hope, and that was the hope. But to sit there and start acting like that was lopsided is kind of insane, especially with Jamar Chase in full diva mode right now.
Fizz just dialing up in the chat right now. Exactly. Marv, cooler head, less to worry about. Chase, scared of what can or won't happen. RC Fisher. So this is funny. It is what it is. I'm not trying to roast nobody, but he puts a screenshot of my trade offer and RC Fisher's response saying, "Oh my, what a great deal. Worst case equals you'll be fine with Chase if Caleb is solid, but I don't think that happens. Best case, you'll be overjoyed with the steal of a deal this year. Struggles and crumbles." I don't know. I don't understand. But anyway, and then he was trying to get Will Levis off me too. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. But I just wanted to bring up I don't even know why I brought that thing up, but to be honest with you. But
because this is an episode for the boys that the boys are chatting.
Something came to my mind. Anyway, I think it was about having Kelce and Bowers on the same squad because we were coming off of Kelce, and I just think that the window. I'm not selling Kelce. I'm gonna hold him until he's Dunsky because it's just like I think the process would have been that he was gonna start revving up towards NFL playoff time, and that would mean you're probably gonna get a couple hot weeks in fantasy land time. So anyway, let's go back and answer a couple of these questions. I see a bunch of people in here dropping some
we got
thought.
a lot of questions.
Billy says, Barry, is it a turd berry? I don't know. Infinite possibilities. I am so fucked. I'm in a 16-team, 53-man roster. Hell yes, I'd love to hear this. Half PPR Dino. My running backs are Mixon, Pacheco, Eckler, Algier, Garendo, Tyron Tracy, Sion Vaki, Keaton Mitchell, and Izzy Abanikanda. The only running backs available are Kyle Juszczyk, Hunter Lepke, Alec Ingold, Travis Homer, Amir Abdullah, and Dare Agumbawale. I have Danny Dimes available for trade. Do you like any of these guys? I think based on what we saw from Travis Homer, I think Homer's worth an addition in this league format. Agumbawale, as the pass catching back in Houston, has a very safe place. Both of those guys in your format should be rostered. Based on your squad, Mixon is attached to Agumbawale, so I think that's worth a carry. I probably would cut Vaki and probably get Homer or Agumbawale. Probably be the avenue I would take. Did I mention that I have AJ Brown on my team? Sorry,
Papa.
Thoughts?
Papa. But yeah, I think of the bunch, Agumbawale is probably my favorite. I will say this on an absolutely outrageous tip. Because of this format and how deep these rosters are, pick up Lubke. All of a sudden, he was in the box score with like a 15% snap share. And that is an absolute wasteland of a running back room. And Lubke was at North Dakota State, whatever one of that was. He played like that kind of Chris Cooley H-back type of role. Crazier shit has happened than Hunter Lubke becoming fantasy relevant at some point. I would add him second most on this list. I mean, we've seen Juszczyk be used in spurts throughout his career. Nothing exciting, but we're talking about 16-team, 53-man rosts here. You gotta get deep. I like Agumbawale, I like Lubke, and you brought up Homer. I think those are all those three guys could be added onto a roster this deep.
Dirty Bird, 14-team Superflex start 9 PPR. How much fab we spending on Dalton? Waivers are empty with 25-man rosters. Do I dump all on Dalton? No. I would do I'm at like a 8%, 6%, 8% on Dalton. If I get him, I get him. If I don't, I don't. I don't care.
In some leagues, I've gone as high as 10. I have gone as high as 10. But yeah, I think ideally you want to stay at 8 because the last thing you want to do is empty the bank only for them to put Bryce Young in 2 weeks. What we have to do and how we have to approach the Carolina Panthers right now is that they're a franchise that has purchased a one-way ticket to Foxville. And there's nothing consistent. There's nothing you can rely on. They're in full-fledged chaos mode, so everything has to be on the table in terms of what's going on. And I think to protect yourself, I know this is a deep league, and there's not often that a quarterback becomes available, but there's been years where I've won a championship with Sean Mannion as my quarterback at the end of the year. So I'm just saying to empty out the wallet here this early on a guy that may not help you, may revert back to the bench in due time. I would not empty my fab here for him.
10% on Dalton, Matty, or 3.5%, 4% on Tyler Huntley.
No, probably 10% on Dalton.
I think Tyler Huntley I think Skylar Thompson sucks. I think
Skylar Thompson does suck. But Snoop Huntley, let's be respectful. Snoop Huntley. Snoop Deal double jizzle. But I don't know. We've seen him before, and we've pretended like
he's been in the Pro Bowl, son.
Fair. If you get points for Pro Bowl appearance, you definitely want to empty the bank for him.
Well, I mean, Alex was making a take for Jordan Whittington earlier, and I said, he goes, he's a very good run blocker. And I said, well, unfortunately, Alex, we don't get points for run blocking.
For who is this? Jonathan Winter?
Jordan Whittington.
Oh, Whittington. Okay, yeah.
All right, starting lineup is Mason with McCaffrey on IR, Mix and Henry at running back. Oh, your team's fucked. Sorry. Adams and Diggs at wide receiver with London Cooper on the bench with a few other guys. Should I stand pat or trade a few guys? I think you should try to trade. I mean, dude.
Sell high in Adams. I'm not saying
on the cook up, I was talking about Henry, and I was like, this was my take, is that Baltimore is not winning 10 games if they don't adjust the way they run this offense with Derrick Henry. It makes no sense. They can't run him from the gun. They need to be like Lamar just needs to be under center more. They need to have him 7 yards back. They need to be in a deep pistol where obviously Lamar's in the standard pistol, but Derrick's deeper where he can. That's just how he goes. Like I've watched enough Derrick Henry on film. I've watched enough Adrian Peterson in real life with my eyes to see that these backs need that head start. They need that run to get going downfield and to get those, 16, 18, 20, 22 carries. And then that's when you see the cooking start happening. That's when you see the oil get hot. And that's when you start flipping the burgers quick. And that's when you start making hay and making cash. And they're not doing that in Baltimore. That's why this team's going to just stay stuck in this weird ass spot. Who are you trading here?
I'm trading Adams. And not that I don't think he could produce. He's at a spike. And this is where you could tear down from a guy like Adams or Diggs. You could have done that last week. But I'm doing it with Devontae Adams right now because I think the tear down is real. I think there's a possibility to move him, grab a receiver that's startable on a weekly basis, and also fill out this roster so that you're not so dependent and it's not so thin given all these injuries that you're dealing with right now.
You know what I would try to do? I would try to move. I would go on the Sleeper app and I would click add the trade block for Derrick Henry, add the trade block Stephon Diggs, add the trade block Amari Cooper. And I would try to 2-for-1 two of those guys.
Yeah.
And I would, that works. I would just try to 2-for-1 them. If you can send Diggs and Cooper and get one wide receiver, do it. If you can send Diggs and Henry and get a better running back, do it. If whatever it is. I don't feel good about Diggs. I don't feel good about Cooper, and I don't feel good about Henry right now.
I don't feel good about Cooper for sure. But the problem with doing a 2-for-1 right now is you're just making it more thin if there's another injury.
Go get Jalen Nailor.
Okay. You go from taking 2 of these guys to buy one to get Jalen Nailor. You should get Jalen Nailor anyway. I'm not saying that's
no. Go add him for free. You get a free roster spot. You send 2, you get 1. You add a free roster spot.
I don't know. If you put Adams on the block, you have a chance to go from an Adams to say a George Pickens.
You want to get rid of Adams, though he's attached to. I mean, the way he talks about Gardner Minshew right now, like him and Bowers look good, and Gardner's mentality is there, and that's what Adams says. Like you can only take it for what it is, but I still think there's a pendulum swing where Adams could end up in like Dallas or New York or DC. And then it's just Yahtzee.
It's a tale of 2 weeks, man. It's what are you buying into? The 6 targets, 5 catches, 59 yards, or 12 targets, 9 receptions, 110 yards. There's going to be ups and downs. While Davante Adams is on an upswing, now's the time to put out the offers where, like I said, you bring in a George Pickens plus a Javonte Williams. You put it in to get a Chris Olave, even though I don't love Chris Olave, or a DJ Moore plus a back. This is the time where you cash in. Whereas if this was week 8, I'm 100% with you. You're taking 2 of those guys and mushing them to 1.
Let's do some rapid fire here and get through some of these questions. Like I said, this is an episode for the boys. Click that like button. Click subscribe. We're answering your questions. We're getting it in. Talking waivers. Talking trades. What's up?
We're talking about for the boys. Before we get into the next question, before we hit rapid fire, let's talk about something for the boys. Let's talk about Manscaped. Manscaped.com. If you're trying to keep it tight, you're trying to keep it clean around your private parts, head over to manscaped.com. Use that promo code right. Oh, I can't cross over your screen because that's not how technology works. SHFF20.
Hey, put your arm up. Put your arm up.
Oh, this reminds me of Whose Line Is It Anyway? I don't know if you ever remember that show, but use the promo code SHFF20. Get 20% off your Manscaped order. Lawnmowers, weed whackers, butt bombs, ball bombs, everything to keep everything nice and tight.
Bombs.
Ball bombs.
Don't monetize. Don't kill our monetization. Bombs. YouTube algorithm.
Bombs. Sorry, I'm from Boston. I can't speak. But use that promo code at Manscaped, SHFF20, and get your ass 20% off your Manscaped order today.
All right. Penrose. Is Mahomes worth the price tag? Should we try and buy? It hasn't been a crazy difference maker for a while. I think based on everything we talked about earlier, I would say he fits the same boat as Kelce. Ruckus. What's up, brother? I have Ingram and tight end is scarce on waivers. Am I a sicko for putting 15% fab or not enough? I don't know what the hell.
My guess is you're talking about Strange, maybe? He's like thinking about
15%. I would not put 15% on Strange. I would put like 6% on Strange, 8% on Strange, depending on league depth.
Yeah.
Mike Falzarano, trade JMO for Cup.
I'm going to say no.
Way Mo for JMO.
I'm saying no right now. And here's why. I'm looking at the receivers that you do have. Garrett Wilson has yet to fire. JSA is a stud and a dud in these 2 weeks. He's had one good, one bad. And Waddle is now facing a bunch of uncertainty. Why move a guy who's finally arrived that we've been waiting for with a potential injured Amon-Ra? So, no, I'm not doing
that. I was offered ETN for Stevenson. Should I take it? No.
Yes, I want ETN.
I definitely read that backwards. I thought he was getting Stevenson. Yes, I want ETN.
Yes. Yeah, we're on the same page. We both want ETN. Yeah.
Hyattsville Shizzles. I got Bryce. Should I put all 500 on Dalton? Fuck to the no.
Absolute hell to the no.
No.
Remember that? Hell to the no.
Ayuk manager wants out. Should I tear down from Chase?
It's got to
This
be a
one
fat
feels
second
right.
piece. It's got to be a fat second piece.
This one feels right though, with what's happening in San Fran. As long as you don't overpay.
Right, but you're also dealing with whatever uncertainty you're dealing with Chase, you're dealing with Ayuk right now. He don't look like him. So no.
Infinite Possibilities wants to know if we'll go deep into the waivers. Well,
we did. We talked about IP's options in his 53-man roster, so we went pretty gosh damn deep.
I would say we went pretty deep. I will drop a couple names that are deep on the list. Brought up Jalen Naylor, Ronnie Bell, San Fran.
Oh, Ronnie Bell sighting.
That's your undercover op of the week, Ronnie Bell.
Let's go.
It's so weird that I actually like wrote this down, but that I didn't like think about when I was going to enter it into the show. But Infinite Possibilities says deep waivers, and I think undercover ops, and then it reminds me of the name that I had written down. Ronnie Bell is that guy in San Francisco. A year ago, right now, Ayuk didn't play. Ronnie Bell went 2 for 20 in a tuggy. This year, there's no Debo and there's no Christian McCaffrey, and Brandon Ayuk does not look like he's a hunchkey right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Ronnie B, if you remember the nice punt return he had this preseason, Ronnie B broke about 13 tackles on one punt return. I like Ronnie as a deep donkey for undercover ops people out there. Shout out.
Any love for Cowing, your boy Cowing?
I like Cowing, but he was. I don't know. I want to see it first. Ronnie Bell's been in the system for a year. He's got a year on him. That system's tough. Bowers tight end 1. I don't think it's too soon. I mean, that's a conversation. I just moved him up to tight end 3 yesterday. So
yeah, I don't think it's too soon. I mean, sometimes you have to factor in pedigree. Like we anointed 4 guys from last year's class as all in the top 5, and really only one of them fired at a really significant level. Pitts has hovered in the top 8, top 10 after 2 bust seasons. Bowers was him, has always been him, was drafted to be him, and has performed as such. So it's sometimes when the stars align, we shouldn't fight it.
Matty Kiwoom, would you trade Chase plus a second for Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you want to go from Chase to Amon-Ra and want to do a straight up swap because you hate the inconsistency, that's fine. But no, there's no way you should be adding a second rounder to get Amon-Ra, especially as he just got banged up.
Oh, yeah. I think they're 1 first. Let's see here. Shout out Captain Joe King. Huge fan of the show. Already a sub. Just sold Flowers and Worthy for Bowers. Holy shit. I know pretty bold, but I just feel that he is a better version of 2023 Laporta. Opinions. I have Pitts. Well, Pitts didn't return the second week. He gave you 1 week, didn't give you a second week, which is depressing. Bowers breaks the record for most receptions in the first 2 weeks as a tight end with 15 as a rookie. Very cool. He's attached to Gardner Minshew. Very not cool. A year from now, if he's attached to Quinn Ewers, very cool. If he gets rid of Devonta Adams, very cool. Then he'll be in a Kincaid expected role, hopefully with a better quarterback. I think we've seen Bowers excel already, man. He still looks like Hunter Renfrow out there, though.
He's big Hunter Renfrow. That was always the hope. The targets have been there. You know, in 1 week, we didn't see it from Devontae. 1 week we did, but we've seen it both weeks from Brock Bowers. And the way maybe we discounted this situation a little too much because it was the Raiders and Gardner Minshew, but Michael Mayer allows Brock Bowers to be free bird, Leonard Skinner free bird, guitar solo, melting faces. He's allowed to just go out there and wreak havoc because Michael Mayer is such a good overall tight end, in line, out, blocking, all that good stuff.
That's interesting. I think I like that. Dynasty hot take. I'm sending Derrick Henry to get Jordan Mason right now. Talk about it on Americans Game on Thursday. Go listen to the pod. Eric Vanek he's going to be talking about Derrick Henry for Mason. I can't say I disagree with it based on what we've seen in Baltimore and how they're treating this situation. Chris Bababool, thoughts on Christian Watson rest of season? Don't like him.
Great wind sprinter.
Great wind sprinter, but don't like him, unfortunately. Went to a shitty school. He's a good receiver, very athletic. Loved him at the Senior Bowl. This year, don't love where he's sitting. Dontavian Wicks is better. Michael Chapp, is Stafford and Keon Coleman for Derek Carr a panic trade? I'm getting Carr. Well, you're going from a guy that potentially starts 0-5 this year in Matthew Stafford, and he has no weapons left other than Tyler Johnson and Demarcus Robinson and Jordan Whittington, who we like, but they don't compare. Very tough schedule still to go before the bye. Could literally start 0-5. I think he'd do. Plus a Keon Coleman for – here's the question, Matty. Is this Derek Carr thing a mirage? Or is this 2016 MVP Derek Carr?
How the fuck did you do that? How did you just blur the screen and unblur the screen? You have to get the focus on your hand. That was incredible. That was
MVP Derek Carr.
So you couldn't even do it a second time. I shouldn't have even pressed it. I shouldn't have pressed it because you nailed it and I fucked it up. That's on me. My bad. But this here, is it a mirage? No, I think he could be the surprise veteran that is in the top 12, 14 on the whole season. But if this is Dynasty, absolutely not making this trade. If it's seasonal, I would absolutely make this trade.
Click that like button, Fizz says. A few questions left. We'll run through these and we'll get out of here on this beautiful Tuesday night. Soul Nas, trade Flowers and CMC for Laporta and Pacheco. I think I like the Flowers McCaffrey side.
I do, and I don't even think it's close. If you're waiting on a running back to come back from injury, might as well be fucking CMC.
Matty, when's the last time your balls were as smooth as eggs?
Smooth as eggs. Smooth as eggs, Ruckus. Smooth as eggs. I love that special.
Johnny Detroit, 12-team standard Superflex best ball. Give a first 3 seconds. Get Achane Mason and a third. Give a first and 3 seconds. Get Achane and Mason.
I mean, you're paying the King's ransom, but if you're looking to win, this is how you win championships. You got to pony up sometimes. And if you're going to pony up for anything, this seems like a good pairing to pony up for.
Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, and Olave for Garrett Wilson and Jameson Williams.
Smash that, baby. Smash that. You want Garrett Wilson and Jameson Williams.
I think so, too. You're getting out of Kupp. Mm-hmm. T's not an alpha. Olave's getting straight Cuck City, Utah. And you get the alpha and Garrett Wilson, and you get, honestly.
What is he? What is he? He's a gambler. You're getting the gambler.
Waymo.
The gambler. J-Mo.
I love it. Ruckus, 12-man, 1 QB, 3 wide receivers, half. Already have Richardson. Need a backup, though. What's your cap on Carr based on format? My cap on Derek Carr adding him? Oh, my God. I didn't even think about this. If I got Baker at like 15 to 18%, Darnold at like 10 to 12, Carr would have to be probably at 15 to 18% with Baker. I think I'd take Baker by a touch, 15 to 18%.
But are you discounting it because 1 QB and you hope to never have to use him?
Yeah, but Richardson's been dog dick.
Yeah, but we all know what he can do.
What he can do. I mean,
I'm at 10%. I was going to say 10, so if you want to push it to 15, I won't fight you on it.
He asked for the ceiling. We just gave it to him. There's your cap. Nick, take Jake. Last thought. What do you guys think of Eric All? I have Eric All on my roster watch waiver wire cheat sheet. He's in the 10% tier, but that means sub 10. I have him at like 4. I like All. I think Gesicki doesn't last. I'm not going to wish injuries, or never would I ever, but Eric All is my preferred in that room. Here's one for you, Matty. 3P, 1C fail. Which of these players do you think is droppable in a 12-man redraft? Jaleel McLaughlin, Jace Brown, Christian Watson, Colby Parkinson, Cortland Sutton, Tajah Spears. Didn't think that name was going to be on there. Who's dropping?
First and foremost, it's epic fail. You boomer. I'm older than you, but you're a fucking boomer. Can't even understand that's epic fail. My Atlanta. Look, never mind. Never mind. This might shock folks. Right here, other than shocking that Cody's a boomer. I am number one. You right, baby. I am.
I got something for you.
Hey, at least you wait till the very end of the show to be fucking. To get us kicked offline. This is gonna shock people, though. Epic. I'm Watson.
Epic. Isn't it gonna shock people? Epic.
I'm dropping Watson.
I think you can cut Chase Brown.
You don't drop running backs in redraft.
You do when they suck. Sorry. I am on fire. Thank you, Chef. Chef Tablespoon.
Oh, we found
Chef
Cody
Teaspoon Tablespoon. Gosh, you're such a boomer. You didn't know TPTB meant teaspoon tablespoon. God, you're so dumb.
What a boomer example. What a fucking boomer example. This guy comes up with the most gray-haired example of reading.
Patrick, Superflex, PPR Dynasty. 2 more. Chase Brown. Jesus Christ. Now what that says. Jamar Chase for Nico in a first. Give me Nico in the first, baby.
Give me Nico in the first. I mean, that I got to give you all the credit in the world for this. You have been dragging me through the coals because I've been so down on Nico pretty much his whole career. And he's here in the biggest way. You said this over a year ago that Nico Collins would play as the Marvin Harrison in this CJ Stroud offense. And that was the fucking best take over the last 18 months. That was perfect. And I think Nico is now in that class where he's not in the Jamar Chase tier, but he certainly ain't a first away from it. So to get that first in Nico, fire it up, Patrick.
Did you hear the stat that I gave Fizz this morning on Nico? 1,549 yards, 9 touchdowns over the last 17 games, which is 17 games of the season. Right? That's all 17 games with CJ Stroud. 40 wide receivers in the history of the sport have had 1,549 yards or more in a season. Nico's done it in his last 17 games.
Baller.
40 receivers in the history of the sport. Boomer. Trapping 87, baby. I can read that one. Trapping with the 3 P's. Popping. 12-team redraft. Lost Ingram, and most managers roster 2 titties. So waivers are a wasteland. Trade Jaden Daniels and Pollard.
Daniels.
For Mahomes and Henry. No,
I want the Konami guy in redraft
and the back.
Pollard in the back. I think going after Henry's a smart move, though. I think you could get him for a bench back if you're running back 4 is worth a shit or something like that. I think that's a move to make trapping. But I like the Henry. Going after Henry makes sense.
Am I out of pocket to just say send Ingram? And I don't know if you can get anything back with Henry. Especially
here's the crazy thing. You don't need much.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's redraft. Ingram was a 1 target in week 1, hurt in week 2. Yeah. And if it was bad enough to keep him out of the game and kind of scare the coaching staff, if he misses a couple games, Hunter Henry can make a big difference. We saw him 109 receiving yards of 143 that percent through. Now he's been a perennial producer, so he's a veteran most player on that team. I don't hate the idea of going Ingram to Henry if you can just get something that entices you a little bit.
Fizz, I know I dropped the ball on that. I should have made him guess. I didn't. Fizz said 88 players had 1,550 yards in NFL history. The answer was 40. I didn't even make you guess. I brought the ball on that one. Last one.
Is that even a guess though, Fizz? That's just Dez's number.
He's like, give me a range. And I said, more than 20, less than 100. And he goes 88. And I was like, all right, cool. All right. So 2 more. Okay. Somebody else popped in here. So would you rather have Marv and Dobbins or JT and Olave? This is coming from Twitch.
Marv and Dobbins.
Okay. Last one. We appreciate y'all. We love you. Click that like button. Click subscribe. Tap in. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern time with your boy, Matty Kiwoom, with your boy, Cody Carpentier. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for tapping in. Take us out, Matty Kiwoom, Jordan Mason, Jaden Reed, and Worthy from Mike Evans and Devonta Smith.
Boy, oh boy, this is tough. I love Evans. I love Smith. Rest of season. Mason as your RB3. I would take the Evans Devonta Smith side, and here's why. If Mason is your RB3, he certainly wasn't drafted to be your RB3. So my guess is you do have some running backs to use if your 1 and 2 get hurt, going by, etc. Because you didn't draft Jordan Mason to be your running back 3. The fact that he's emerged as such is really just a factor of circumstance. I'm assuming you have other backs. Give me Evans and Devonta Smith, who I think are both top 15 receivers ROS.
Number one rule, Matty Kiwoom, for me in the Start Sit Show on Sundays, no question goes unanswered. HD, you got it in. Why would you guys trade Devonta Smith and Ramondre for Olave, JSN, Brian Robinson in full PPR? I want Ramondre and Devonta Smith.
I just wish that was a better. I just don't like Olave. If it was anyone else in that tier of receiver, it would be a smash because I love B-Rob, but I'm going to go with Cody. Ramondre is getting too much love, and Devonta Smith, bad boys for life.